Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First TV. I'm your host, Patricia Rivera Wolfson, and I am a strategist, energy practitioner, and my goal is to help you build resilience, start over after loss, and how to navigate life's twists and turns with clarity and confidence. And today's topic that I will be talking about is today we're talking about the Me First framework. So I've talked about Me First ever since we brought back the show, and all of the Me First episodes really integrate the Me First framework. But I'm actually going to break it down for you today, and it's a powerful yet gentle method to help you take control of your energy, focus, and actions, which really life is all about taking action, right? Change can only happen when you make a different choice, when you take a different action. So if you find yourself really just lost, confused, overwhelmed, struggling in any way, well, then I hope that what I share with you today can help you make a little bit more sense of your life and give you some tools and strategies for you to approach things from a way or in a way that can make things a little bit easier as you evolve through this healing process. All right, so we are going to, oh, if you're here, I'm opening up the chat so that I can see you guys. And if you're here, please say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know when you're watching. If you're not watching live, you're watching the replay, let me know. I love to know. And first, we're going to start off, of course, with our Me First ritual. So go ahead. Oh, did I bring a candle? I don't know. Hold on. All right. I didn't bring, how did I not bring my candle? Where did I take it? All right. So I'm gonna use this candle instead. All right. I'm still here if you guys can hear me. All right. So this is also a good option if you can't get a candle, or if you're in a place where you can't light a match or light your candle, you can use one of these little fake candles, okay? And it's still setting the intention. So today we're setting the fake candle as our intention to open up our ritual. See, you just got to make things work however they can work for you, right? We don't have a real candle. We're just going to do what we can. Oh, hi, Linda. So glad you're here. Okay. And you can have your fake candle too and light it. All right. All right. Just getting things started. A sip of my coffee. I went and got myself a Nutella latte this morning because it was a hard morning and I deserved a treat because I kept my shit together today. Thank you. Cheers. Go treat yourself too if you handled today nicely. All right. So let's take some three deep let's take 3 deep breaths together, right? We're gonna do three. On the inhale, we're going to do 3 breaths. On the inhale, I want you to imagine just bringing in all of the life force energy that the universe has to offer you and bring it into your body. Then I want you to hold for 5 seconds. And while you're holding, I want you to imagine that energy just going through your body, lighting up all the darkest corners and dissipating any stuck or stagnant energy. And when you release, or I should say, when you exhale, release all of that negativity, all of that toxicity, anything that doesn't serve you. And we're going to do that 3 times to get our day started. Okay, here we go. Deep breath in and hold and release. And if you can, remember that you want to exhale for longer than your inhale, because that will activate your parasympathetic system and kind of let your body know that you're okay and everything's fine. All right. Let's do 2 more of those. Ready? Deep breath in and hold and release. Okay, and 1 more. Hold and release. I was going to say I didn't cough today, but it was just a small cough. So clear. I'm doing better. All right. Now we want to do a little stretching. I'm like, which way? What am I stretching? Okay. So we want to do a little stretching because what the stretching does is it also releases sort of that tense, stagnant energy in your body, right? You want to move it. You want to move the parts of you that feel stuck or stiff, right? You want to move it. You want to allow the energy to, you want breath to get there. So imagine yourself breathing in into those parts maybe that hurt and blow it out. Okay. And you want to just release as much tension as you can by stretching and releasing any of that pain, tension, stuck, stagnant energy. I know I say that over and over again, but it's just to remind you because that's what it is. Okay. And if you're doing this on your own, of course, you can do more yoga poses. You can stretch your legs more than I'm not stretching my legs right now. I'm just doing sort of the head and neck area here, but you can do whatever you want if you're doing this on your own, wherever you feel called to stretch. Okay. And then we shake it out together. Shake, 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 shake. Whoo! All right. Let's go. Oh, God, I'm trying to get myself motivated today, people. That's why we're doing this together. All right. So now it's time for us to set our intentions for the day. I will say a little prayer, calling in for my spiritual support team, and I ask that you do the same in whatever way feels connected for you based on your spiritual beliefs. Or you can just follow along with me and let the prayer count for you as well. And think about your intention, which I'll give you a moment to do that once we call in for the spiritual support people. And Lord knows we need their support. Okay, here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping us set an intention that is in alignment with our highest and greatest good for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you for showing us the signs and synchronicities and messages in nature, music, movies, to the cards we pull, and to the words of today, the words of others today and always. I appreciate you. I serve you. I am so grateful for any wisdom that you may have for me or the collective on this day and always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Okay. So now take a moment to just set your intention or think about your GPS word or choose a GPS word, just sitting with it, thinking what you would like this day to feel like. And as you take a moment to do that, I'm going to remind you to please go ahead and subscribe now to my YouTube channel, Me.F.I.R.S.T TV. And remember to press that ding that bell so that you can get notifications of when I'm on, which is usually Monday through Friday, sometime in the morning. And remember, if you would like a personal reading, a strategy session, or even a couples reading, my calendar is open. Just go to calendly.com/jumpstart for change. The link is in the description if you need. Also, I still have my free Me.F.I.R.S.T Guide to Transformation. That link is also in the description. You can go ahead and download that and follow me on all the social medias. I'm trying to share my content. If you feel like it's beneficial to you or to someone else, please feel free to spread it along, like, comment, share. I really appreciate it. And of course, subscribe. Okay. So now let's get back. Oops, little bug on my table. Um, let's get back to today's topic at hand, which is the Me First framework. Okay. And I am going to start I'm going to talk about it because this is a framework that I've used for many, many years that I developed over probably about 15 years. And how I know it sounds like a long time, but it was kind of like this little whisper, this idea. I had sort of pieces of the puzzle that I started to integrate into my coaching and into my personal life, but more especially, of course, over the last 2.5 years or so, and a little bit more. Once Scott got sick, well, he passed 2 years ago, but I guess after COVID, when things really took a turn, kind of for everybody, I had to really lean into these teachings. And so I have had the opportunity to refine them myself through some of the toughest times in my life. Watching my husband experience cancer and sort of all the things that came with that. I don't even know what to say about that. And then losing him and navigating life without my best friend, without my partner in crime, without the father of my children. I've really had to take my own lessons and take my own tools and really, really lean into them and apply them on such a massive way. So I am coming to you and sharing these tools because they have worked for me. And they have worked for many other people, of course, that I've shared them with as well. But this is why I'm sharing them. So I hope that you can listen with an open mind and maybe just see what from this you can use for your own life, because there's nothing more than I would want than to be able to support you on your healing journey, because the more people are healed, the more we evolve humanity to a place where we can all feel seen and just lit up in life. Okay. All right. So the first step to the Me First formula, which we talked about last week, and I'm just going to touch on it briefly right now, of course, is picking your GPS word, right? Your GPS word is your guiding light. It is the one feeling or emotion that you want to embody every single day. Like if you could feel one way as soon as you wake up, if you could like program yourself to feel a certain way all day, this is the feeling that you would program if you could, right? It could be peace, it could be confidence, it could be abundance, it could be vitality, it could be connection. Whatever is most important to you, whatever feeling gives you that, I don't know, feeling that you want, that is what you want to introduce into your life. That's the word that you want to use as your focus, as your grounding mechanism with these exercises. Okay. And if you're unsure of what your GPS word should be, take a moment to reflect on what's missing in your day to day life, right? Think about how you feel. And if none of those feelings feel good, think of what is the opposite of how you feel, or what is the feeling that you want most that would sort of fix how you're feeling right now. That is going to be the indicator of what your GPS is. And if you're still struggling to whew, mouth not working this morning yet. All right. If you're still struggling to choose your GPS word, then just know I'm here. You can reach out. Go ahead and book yourself a session, and we will go through some cool little exercises that I have that may help you figure out your GPS word, because that really be able to align to that word and use the rest of the tools that I introduce, using that as your anchor, right? The GPS word is your anchor. Okay. So now that we've talked about that, let's talk about the Me First framework, or the Me First formula. I call it the Me First formula, the Me First framework, the Me First method. It's literally, I've been calling it all sorts of things for many years. Okay. But what it is your guide to realignment. Okay. And Me First is an acronym, and each letter represents an essential part of your growth journey. I look at it almost as, I don't know if you got, I mean, I used to work in radio, and I used to work in television, but radio specifically would have a soundboard. Or if you've ever worked in music, you have a soundboard, and you have like all these, you have like rows and rows of buttons that you can kind of tweak all the levels in that channel, right? So you have like 15 channels or many more, right? Let's think of a soundboard. Maybe you guys can visualize it better. So a soundboard has a channel, and that you can, in each one, you can amplify or de-amplify or reduce, the bass or the treble or all the things, but in that one channel, right? So you have ways to tweak that channel. And the way I look at the Me First framework, I look at it much like this soundboard, right? I look at it as the ability for us to tweak our frequency through each channel. And so, what I'm introducing to you is what I believe these channels are, these pathways to be able to like navigate the things in our life. All right. So, we're just going to cover the basics today. And for the rest of the week and next week, I'm going to get into each individual word, or should I say, each individual channel, so that we can go deeper and help you even further with looking at things from this perspective, from that Me First framework, so that you can start using it to help you evolve and to help you heal and to help you improve the things in your life, whether it be your relationships, your energy, your focus, your attention, whatever it is. I hope that this can help you. Jim, this morning's GPS word is sassafras. Yes, it's always sassafras. All right. So Jim just outed himself as the person whose word is sassafras. And look, it doesn't have to be any word in particular. That's a great example, right? You can have a word that means something just to you, right? You can have your word be hullabaloo. It really doesn't matter what the word is, as long as you are connected to that word. It can be something that you used to say to yourself as a kid. And so that activates a certain frequency when you think about that word. It just has to connect with you and who you are. Okay. So let's talk about the Me First formula. And let's talk about each one of these little channels. Okay. So let's go. So the first one, because I'm actually going to put these in because I think it's helpful. But of course, I didn't prepare. So now I have to do it now. All right. Here we go. You guys know me. Okay. So the first word is M. Okay. Momentum. There we go. Here it is. Momentum. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the thing so I can see it. There we go. Okay. So the first word is momentum, right? Now, what is momentum? Momentum is exactly what it sounds like, right? And the way I look at it, your channel of momentum is where you control how fast you're going, right? And which direction you're going, right? Because the momentum happens when you start heading, like as you start doing things. So the time between your thought and your action. Okay. So, oh, I have an idea. Now I take action. Oh, idea, action, idea, action. However quickly that time, or that like the time between your idea and action will indicate how quickly things start to happen for you. And if you are like idea, no action, idea, no action, idea, no action, it's like it's slowing you down, right? So it's like literally like a car accelerating, heading in the direction that you want by making decisions and taking action, or putting on the brakes by making decisions but not taking any action, then you're sort of spiraling back, right? The other way I look at it, which I have here in the description, are you riding a wave of positivity or spiraling downward, right? If you're spiraling downward, you can have really fast momentum, but it's going in a direction you don't want to go. So those are the things that you need to pay attention to in terms of momentum, right? How fast or how slow are you going? And you get to control the speed. You get to decide, I have an idea and I take an action. I need to wait between taking that action. I need to slow things down. That is your choice. Or, of course, when your focus is on things sort of spiraling and falling apart, that's also kind of speeding up your momentum. But you have in your control how to put the brakes on the spiral by changing your focus or shifting your focus to going in the other direction. But first, you might have to like put on the brakes for all of those sort of negative thoughts or that spiral that's going in a direction that you don't want to do. You're going to have to take steps to slow that down. Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that tomorrow, but that just gives you an idea. Momentum is how fast you're going, how fast you are taking action, which you have control over, right? Or maybe how fast you are reacting to the action that's happening you. Again, you have control over how quickly you're reacting or how quickly you're taking action. And you have control over the direction that you're heading in, right? If you're going towards the things you want or if you're going away from the things you want. In momentum, those are the channels that you have control over. And that is one of the most important things that you really need to bring in, because Very often, especially if you're watching this, a lot of people who watch my content kind of feel stuck or stagnant or like not knowing what to do, a little lost, right? So then you have to start shifting your perspective to be able to start taking action in the direction that you want to go, even if you start slow. And that is by tweaking that momentum channel. Linda, your GPS word is thriving. That's a good word. Man, do we all need to start thriving? Okay, so in your case with the word thriving, you have to think about momentum, right? And you want to start thinking about what actions are going to help me thrive. And the more actions you take that bring you closer to thriving, the quicker you begin to thrive, right? The less actions you take, or the more actions you take that bring you away from thriving, well, then you're going in the other direction, right? You're not going in the direction that you want, and you're not picking up momentum and getting closer to what you want. You are slowing down the momentum and getting further from what you want, and potentially even picking up the momentum in the other direction if you start allowing yourself to spiral with the inner critic talk and maybe other people's opinions or judgments of what's happening. If you can't disconnect from that, you can increase your momentum of the spiral, and we don't want to do that. Okay, but those are the things that you need to pay attention to in momentum. All right, now let's go to the next one. So the M is momentum. I've said that a billion times now. You must be sick of it. Now I'm going to change to the next one, which is E for energy. Oops, no. Energy. Okay. E is for energy. Now, what is energy? Okay. Now, energy, we talk about energy. I talk about energy all the time. But in the context that I talk about it, this is about being aware of the space around you, being aware of your energy, right? So think about, where are you investing your energy? Your energy can be your time, your attention. We're going to have the next word is actually going to focus a little bit more on the attention part, but definitely, where are you investing your energy, your attention, um your well, it is focus too, but you need to figure out what in your life is happening and identifying those loops, right? The open loops, the conversations you haven't had, the things you haven't done, right? All of these like energetic weights around you of the things that take up space in your field of energy, right? What takes up space, right? The things that you're avoiding takes up space in your energetic field because you still have to hold on to it. So any energy, which can be anything, any thought, any action that you have not addressed specifically, is holding itself in your energetic field. And so it's important that you address the things in your energetic field and take care of them one by one, right? Which is, if you've got something that you need to take care of and you have control over it, you need to decide, when am I going to take this action? What am I going to do to be able to take control of this situation? Now, if you don't have control because it's something happening from the exterior, whether a situation or someone else is doing something, then you have to decide, what can you do about it? What is within your control? Or what perspective do you need to have in order to be able to address this energy and deal with it? And you have to figure out what it is that you need to do in order to deal with it. Is it something you can do? Then address it. Is it something that you need someone's help with? Then address it. Is it something that you can't do anything about because it's just a life circumstance or situation? Well, then you have to figure out how to be able to put it aside or surrender it so that it no longer takes up space in your energetic field, or at least you can minimize its effect on you. Because that's what we need to do. These I always see like the energy in our field is almost like a little child, right? A kid going, mommy, 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 right? So it's something that's trying to get your attention. So until you look at it and say, what, honey, what can I do for you? And they ask you to do something that you can't do, you say, I'm sorry, my love, I can't do it. Or you say, oh, of course I can do that. And you take care of it, right? So every sort of situation, or as I call them, like open loops, every kind of situation or person or thing that you need to navigate, thing that you need to take care of is something in your energetic field that needs to be addressed, and only you can address it. And you need to figure out how to address it in order to dissipate its um, energetic impact on your direct field. Okay. Now, I can talk more about this if you guys are interested. Like I said, I am going to cover energy again this week. We'll talk more about energy, but feel free to ask questions if it sounds confusing, which it might. But I don't know. You guys are smart. You can figure it out. Okay. Next, let's do. M- Spoke too soon about the cough. Okay. The next word is focus. So M for momentum, E for energy, F for focus, right? And focus is important. Now, focus because your thoughts shape your reality, right? Your perspective is what sets the foundation for how you look at things in your life and how you experience things in your life. So, what you're focusing on and how you're focusing on it has a huge impact on the results of your life, right? On what happens in your life. So, for example, if you are if you are struggling with money, for example, and your focus is on how little money you have, on how money is never there for you, on how you just can't seem to get it together with money, well, then your focus is what is going to grow, right? What you focus on grows. So, what you're doing is you are increasing by focusing on your lack, you are increasing the lack. You are noticing the lack. You are amplifying the lack. Your focus amplifies whatever it is that you are talking about or that you are focusing on. So, if the idea is that you want to get out of this lack mentality, then you have to shift your focus to what is abundant in your life. Now, money may not be abundant in your life. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, say, I am rich, I am abundant, okay? Because I'm not the person who believes that those types of affirmations work unless you truly believe them. It has to feel safe in your body to have money. You need to embody abundance. And so, if money doesn't make you feel abundant, then what you need to focus on is the things that make you feel abundant in your life, right? And you first start with things that maybe have nothing to do with money, abundant friendships, an abundant love, an abundance of ideas, right? What do you have an abundance of? And focus on what you have an abundance of. And you send that message out to the universe, more of this, lots of this. I love this. Right. And then you might be saying to yourself, well, then how do I shift the focus to actually having the money? You start small, right? You find 5 cents on the ground. You go, oh my God, I found a nickel. How lucky of me. Money just shows up for me. And that may feel silly, but focusing on the little things, right? Being able to pay your bills. Okay. If you can't pay your bills, that's really, really hard and a very tough spot to be in. And you're probably stressed out and panicked. But if there are bills that you can pay, I want you to take a moment and feel good that you have the money to pay that bill. Even if it annoys you that you have to dish out that money, the focus should be on the fact that money is taking care of you by paying the bills, right? Money is supporting you by paying your mortgage or your rent. Money is supporting you by buying you that favorite coffee. Like today, I got my sweet little coffee. Believe me, I am so grateful that I had a little extra to purchase this coffee, that I could invest in my happiness with this coffee. And so your focus has to be on the tiniest little things. If that's all you have, if it's just like little things, oh, I was able to, like, reminds me of when I was in high school and we would like drive to the Burger King near I grew up in Mississauga. For those Canadians, Mississauga is like 20 minutes outside of Toronto. Well, probably with traffic, it's like more like an hour these days. But anyway, we used to go to the Burger King and they had stirrups. I think they were called stirrups. And it was like Oreo cookie and ice cream. And they were like $1.27 or something at the time. Okay, you guys know my age, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I would be in the car and I would like go under the seats and I would like look for change and I would come up with like literally like the nickels and the dimes and the pennies to have enough to buy myself a stirrup. And it would make me so happy. Now, I could look at it and be like, my God, I can't even scrape together 2 cents to get myself a stirrup. Or you can be super, super excited that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I didn't think I had the money, but I got all hit all the corners of my car and I was able to get myself a stirrup and I was able to get myself, this delicious little treat. I'm so grateful, right? It's a little bit of that gratitude, a little bit of that focus, right? Where your focus goes, that's what's going to grow. Okay. Focus, where focus goes, that's what grows. There's a better saying than that. I can't think of it right now. Okay. All right. The next word that we're going to talk about. Oh, we're already like half hour in. Woohoo! Glad you guys like it. Okay, the next word is the I letter, and it is inner work. Okay, now what's the inner work? Inner work is literally everything that we do together every single day. All right, growth starts from within. You have to spend some time looking within, analyzing how you look at things, your perspective, allowing yourself to open up your mind and shift your reality, right? You got to reflect on what's going on. You got to release the things that don't serve you and then you have to recalibrate your energy in order to move forward and embody the life that you want to have in the future, in the present, right? So you need to embody in the present what you want in the future. If I want an abundant life in the future, I need to embody abundance now in whatever way you can. And it takes inner work to do that. You have to do the work. Maybe you're doing some journaling. Maybe you're doing some meditation. Maybe you're taking walks in nature and just allowing yourself to feel different than how you may feel in that sort of stressed out, overwhelmed environment that you experience every day. The inner work is recognizing that you can heal parts of yourself slowly but surely and evolve into the person that you want to be. Okay. Into the human that you already are, right? We already are the people that we dream of being. Sometimes we just need a little help to kind of allow ourselves to shine authentically because in the society that we've been raised in, it can be scary to be your authentic self because you don't want to be cringe, you don't want to be made fun of, you don't want to take abuse. And that's a really hard thing right now because between internet trolls and sort of the divisiveness of our um, uh, I was going to say our country, in this case, our country, yes, but I think that globally we are all experiencing this huge transition. And it can be really scary to show up as yourself when you see everybody else and everything else is shaky and on really unstable ground. But part of how you establish your own foundation and your own stability is standing up and standing tall in who you are, authentically, unapologetically being you. And that will also give others permission to be themselves too. And it's also going to send out the signal for people who are like you, that are just like, hey, wait a second, I get that. I'm like her too. Amazing. Someone else suffers like me. Someone else thinks like me. Someone else experiences joy like me. Be who you are, because I promise you there's someone out there looking for your permission or looking for permission from somebody to be the way they are, and it's probably very much how you are, and you're going to make their day just by showing up and being yourself. Okay. Next, the R in the Me.F.I.R.S.T formula, or in the Me.F.I.R.S.T framework, is all about relationships. Okay. Now, relationships, I don't just mean relationships with people, right? But of course, relationships with friends and family members and anybody that you have connection with. But really, what I want to say is that everything in your life is a relationship, right? Your relationship to the things in your life is one of the channels that you need to tweak, right? Your relationship to money, your relationship to your career, your relationship to your spouse, your relationship to motherhood, your relationship to your children, your relationship to yourself, right? What does that look like? What does a healthy, robust fulfilling relationship look like to you, right? And maybe you don't know because you haven't had that experience. But if you were to imagine what a really connected relationship looks like, I want you to think about how you can express that or embody that in other relationships that you have, with your job, with your body, with yourself, with your ideas, right? What does that relationship look like? And how can you nurture your relationship with the things in your life in order for you to once again step into being that person who you truly are, so that you can accomplish your dreams, so that you can find fulfillment, and so that you can live a life that you feel really worth being around for, right? I mean, I don't know how else to put it, really. Okay. Two more, and then I'm going to pull a card, and then we got to wrap it up because this has been a while. But I appreciate your patience. All right, so here we go. The S in me first. S stands for step it up or show up, right? We can talk until we're blue in the face about how much we want and how much we wish our life was different. But if you are not showing up for your life, if you are not working for what you want, if you are not fulfilling and embodying the energy of what you dream of, then there's a disconnect. You can't make it happen. If you're not showing up, then how can it come to you? How can there be a connection, right? If you sit in your room under your blankets and be like, oh my God, I'm not doing anything, but God, I wish my life was different, right? And we're not talking about going through a depressive episode or any other sort of mental health issues where you may need support or you may need to rest or you may need to do other things. Please, please find a professional, reach out and get the support you need if you are having trouble showing up in your day to day, if you're having trouble accomplishing your day to day tasks. Okay. If you really are having trouble and you need support, please go out and get it. But I'm not talking about, you know, the real deeper mental health issues. What I'm talking about is you have dreams, you have ideas, you have a vision of what you want your life to look like, and it requires taking action, right? And if you are not taking that action because of fear of judgment, fear of the consequences, whatever fear you have, if there is anything stopping you from taking steps, then you are not showing up. And if you are not showing up for yourself, then the universe cannot show up for you either, right? Because if you're destined to meet someone down the street, but you never walk out of your house, then you can't possibly meet them. I mean, yes, things happen where people kind of miraculously knock at your door and you have serendipitous moments where it's like you went out grocery shopping and the love of your life happened to be at the deli counter. I mean, it happens. I think that's what happened with M.E.F.I.R.S.T. That's where that story came from. Anyway, the point is you have to show up, and we're going to talk about that more this week. All right, the last one that I'm going to talk about right now, and then we'll pull a card because I am just talking. Okay, the last one is T from me first, and it's trust. Okay, and that is trust. And what is trust? You have to build trust with yourself, with the universe, and you have to build trust in the process. And how do you do that? Is by tweaking all of the channels that we're talking about, right? Tweaking the momentum, tweaking your energy, tweaking your focus, tweaking your inner work, like working on all these things and doing the things, taking the actions that are within your control to take. And then the rest you have to surrender, right? You just have to let it go and you have to trust that the universe is going to take care of the rest, right? You do your part and trust that the rest will get taken care of, right? Don't question God and God's plan. That's not your job. Your job is to say, hey, this is what I want and this is what I can do about it. This is my portion. I'm going to do this, okay? Now you do the rest. And that's easier said than done, okay? It's not easy to let things go and be like, okay, universe, take care of the rest, because we live in scary times and scary things happen, and it's really easy to fall into the fear and think that the universe doesn't care, that God is this punishing, judging kind of being, because that's what we've been taught. But we need to build that relationship, just like working on relationships in with real people in real time. Our relationship with the universe also needs to be worked on. Our relationship with God, or whatever spiritual deity that you believe in, whatever spiritual force you believe in, you have to build that relationship by putting trust that you are going to be taken care of, that you will show up and do your part, and then you're trusting in the rest. And that's how we do it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, as I said. That trust we'll probably talk about next week. Okay. And so, how do you use this formula? I want you to think about this as like the toolbox for life, right? When you're feeling off balance, when something doesn't feel right, the idea of this is for you to be able to go back to it, check out the channels, and see what do you need to tweak, see which area needs readjustment, right? Like fine tuning the mixing board, right? These small tweaks can make a huge difference in your life. Right? It will change your frequency. It will change how you move in the world, just like putting on a good song, right? If you put on a good song that you love, even if you're in a bad mood, it switches your frequency. It puts you in a better mood. It gets you stepping out in a different, more confident way. And these channels, the goal of these channels is to do the same thing. All right. So, what I want you to do today, if you haven't already done it, please choose your GPS word. All right. And then I want you to identify one area of the Me First framework to focus on. Okay. And commit to one change that aligns with your desired feeling. All right. And then please share it below. Share it on the comments here. Share it on my YouTube channel. Send me a private message. Go to my emails and send me a message. And let me know what's your GPS word and what is the one channel that you feel you really want to work on. All right. Don't forget, like, life isn't easy. Okay. We know this. Things are challenging, but you are powerful. You are magical, and you are capable of incredible transformation. All right. And if you practice every day doing what feels good to you, practice getting yourself into a state that feels safe to be happy, that feels safe to get money, that feels safe being your authentic self, well, I promise you, nothing is going to stop you. All right. So, what can we do? I'm going to do a tarot card. I'm going to do the Luna Soul Tarot. And I'll pull one card for us today. Ooh, it's 11:22. Make a wish. Right. I'm going to pull one card today to see what is the message the universe wants to send us away with today for the Me First formula. Right. Like, what is it that we need to know in order to be able to be in alignment with our highest selves? And maybe how can we use the Me First formula to do that? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what the cards have to say about that. And then, oh my goodness, okay. Then we got to wrap it up because this has been a long one, but it was good lessons. All right, here we go. 5 of Cups. Okay. So the 5 of Cups, what this is here, this is a card of letting go. This is a card that tells you to sort of release the things that don't serve you. Now look at this. You see how she's sleeping? Well, she's sleeping and she's dreaming. This is like us really overthinking all the things that we've lost, right? It's like ruminating over. Now the cups are emotions, cups are feelings, right? Those are like the things that we feel in our lives. So these are the disappointments, you see. So she's focused on these disappointments in her life, like, oh wow, why did I lose that? Oh, and nobody loves me, and I can't seem to get my shit together, and I don't have a job, and everything's really, really heavy, and you just ruminate over these 3 things, right? But what's here that she doesn't see? Look at these 2 cups, right? These 2 cups are full, and they're standing up, and they're waiting for her to sit up and take them. This goes in line with what we were talking about, right? The universe cannot pick up the cups for you, right? It put the cups there for her, right? But she is ignoring them because she is focused on everything she lost, and she is completely ignoring the new things that are here, the new full things that are here, waiting for her to just take that opportunity, to seize those cups, to take them and run, to take them and drink, to take them and enjoy. So I want you to think for yourself, what in your life is happening this week? Because we're talking about this week. What is happening? What are you focusing on? Right? Are you focusing on the things that you've lost? Or are you open to the new opportunities and the possibilities that exist? I hope that the Me First framework can help you to start shifting your focus, right? Shifting your focus from the things that you've lost or the things that do not serve you into the things that are the possibilities that you have in the future, the opportunities that exist for you in order for you to completely shed those old parts of yourself and step into your highest and greatest self for the highest and greatest good of all. Okay, that's where I'm leaving it today. I'll be back tomorrow and we're going to talk all about momentum. If you have any questions, of course, always feel free to reach out to me and ask me. And remember that I'm here if you need support. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget that you can book a personal reading with me and just go out there and shine your light. Don't let